Hey guys, Pia with Fingerprint Marketing. I hope you can see me. I was going to go live at noon, but everything broke at the same time. So I live in Fall City on Lake Alice, where there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong here, like Wi-Fi sounds, technical stuff. So my friend Jessica Butts always reminds me, don't do stuff you suck at, which I continue to do, and I should listen to her. Anyway, thanks for joining me live. I want to make sure that you can hear me. Let's see here. Let's see if you can hear me. Okay, let's see here. Anybody? Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Hello. Woo! I can't even see. Oh, yay! Christine Mason's here and she can hear me. Okay, good. Can you see me too? I'm assuming you can see me. Okay. Okay, let's get started. So, today I want to share 10 top presentation / public speaking ninja tips. I just got back from Philadelphia, taking a 3-day public speaking course and took away amazing information. I'm not, well, okay, I can't say that I'm not a speaker because I have done speaking before, but these were, the hosts were actors, and it was held in a theater, and they presented their workshop from the stage, and they had amazing information. So I wanted to just drop some 10 tips on you, because even if you don't speak in front of 2,500 people, you might be speaking to a group of 5, or you might be teaching to a group in your company. Presentation skills are super important. My friend Jenny Butts is amazing at it. She's a professional MC and a speaker. If you ever have a chance to see her speak, she is outstanding. And my other friend Jessica Butts is a speaker. So I wanted to share this with you. Hi, Amy. Nice to see you. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to pull up my agenda. And you guys, if you have any speaking tips or public speaking tips, please leave them in the comments below. Hey, Jeannie. Hi. Nice to see you. And we'll share them with the audience. And I'll also answer questions for you. Give me some hearts and likes if you can see me. I'm literally sweating bullets in here. It's supposed to be fall. What is going on? That's what I get for turning 50, right? Okay, so speaking is a performance. And right now, I am not performing very well because I'm having technical difficulties. But when we were at this conference, a mind shift for me was when I realized when you get up on a stage, no matter how small, how big, it is a performance. And you are an actor. And Jenny, I have a friend who says that she sees it as a classroom. Whatever imagery works for you. For me, it worked to understand that we are giving a play. We are putting on an act. We are being our true authentic selves, but we are still telling stories. We are using the stage. We are creating physicality. We are painting pictures. We're not just on the phone or on a video like this telling you something. We're actually showing you. We are unfolding the story. So that's my first tip, is to think of your presentation as a play. And there's 3 parts to the play. There's the exposition, meaning giving them all the information that they need up front before you go into your story. And the second part is the conflict and the actual story, and then resolution. So that's simple, 3 parts. So if you think of your presentation as a story, as an act or a play or something that you perform in a theater, it's going to, I think it's going to give you confidence. It's going to allow you to step into the spotlight. It's going to elevate you. And it's a whole different mindset. It was awesome. Hey, Jenny, we were just talking about you, how you're such a great speaker. Mwah! Anyway, thanks for joining. You guys give me some hearts and likes if you can hear this. Number 2 ninja tip for speaking is always thank your host, which I forget to do, right? So your host who has invited you to speak at their event or at their workshop has done this amazing work, and it's an honor to be invited to speak. There's a high level of trust there, and you want to acknowledge the host, not just to say thank you, because obviously you thank them when they invited you, you probably thank them afterwards, but to publicly thank the host or hostess for inviting you, and to say something like, let's give the host or hostess a big round of applause in this amazing event. It's in the details that counts, and you will be invited back to speak again more often if you do recognize and thank the host. Talking about public speaking tips. Hi, I'm back. Oh, life in a log cabin on a lake. Yes. Anyway, oh, and there goes my chair. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, going back to number 3. When you want to create interaction with your audience, you can ask them to do something like, raise your hand if someone here has done so-and-so, right? One of the tips they shared with us was to make it more interactive. So some people might not raise their hand, or maybe we can't see people raising their hand. So one tip was to ask for applause. So for example, by round of applause, and you always want to ask them to do something before you ask the question or to make the statement, because they can be prepared. You want them to be prepared to interact. So by a round of applause, how many people here love giving their elevator speech? Can I hear? Or hate giving, the opposite. Hate giving an elevator speech. And what this does, I want to break this down for you because this was very interesting to me. And I hope you guys are paying attention because this is very important. So when you want to create the interaction, you're going to tell them what you want them to do. Raise your hand, clap. What's the action they have to do? Number 2 is you want to make sure that it's something that you know everyone's going to clap at, right? Who loves giving their elevator speech? There might be a couple of people, right? Or who hates giving elevator speeches. So when you get everybody on the same page and they're clapping, they've already bought into what's coming next. There's already a little trust leverage right there with the audience because they're showing you positive reinforcement by clapping, even though it's a simple question. I love that, right? Okay, tip number 3 or number 4. I'm going to scroll my notes here. When you're presenting, it is advisable not to get on stage and go, hello, my name is Pia Larson. I'm with Fingerprint Marketing, because you've already lost them. The job of your host or hostess is to read your bio, or you can have your signage, or you've already met some of these people, but set it up so you don't have to come on stage and introduce yourself. That's ideal. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way, and you have to say, hey, this is Pia with Fingerprint Marketing, especially like if you're presenting at a networking group. But if you can avoid it, you want to either do 2 types of openings. You want to do a cold open or a warm open. And a cold open, and yes, Jenny, a good introduction is key. But it's preferable that someone else is introducing you, because you want to hook the audience right away. It's not really your job to give them your background, because unless you're Oprah or someone that they're going to be riveted, right? So you can have a warm open or a cold open. A warm open would be, hey, it's Pia, your chief imagination officer. So you're interacting with the audience. A cold open is bam, you go right into your story. How many people here have, and you go down your storyline. Yes, Jenny, it's up to the MC. Thank you for being here. You are so great, because Jenny is a great speaker, and she's going to be giving us some tips in the discussion as well. So preferably don't say, hello, my name is, because then you've already lost them. You've got to catch their attention. Speaking of which, I'm going to move on to number 5, because we've got 10 tips to get through. Don't point, or try not to point. When you're making a point or you're calling someone in the audience, don't go like this, because it's very confrontational. It's just not preferable. It's more aggressive, unless you're trying to be aggressive, right? But make sure you're not singling out one person, unless it's a heckler, right? Let's be real. What they suggest at the conference was to have an open hand. Yes, sir. You, sir. Yes, ma'am. You had a question. Or when you're trying to pontificate a part of your speech or part of your presentation, then he went, there they went. So you're using the open hand. It's non-confrontational. It just creates the bond between you and the audience, and that's really what you want to do, right? You want to build trust with your audience. You want to leverage, get yourself on the same playing ground with them. Number 6, don't use absolutes. What they mean by that is when you say everybody does this, nobody does this, there's always going to be one person who does it, right? And they're going to let you know. Or if they don't verbally let you know, they're going to sit there and go, well, I might do it. So all of a sudden you're not on the same page with your audience. So preferably I take a deep breath here. I had to learn how to breathe when I was there as well. So taking a beat. Okay, so where were we? Don't use absolutes. Don't say everybody does this. Nobody does this. Instead, a better way to do it is to say, I have found that most people do this. Has it occurred to you, or have you observed that typically is another great word, typically, because you're doing averages, right? You're not speaking in absolutes. You guys, I think it's amazing when you just make these little tiny changes to your script and to your presentation. It changes the whole feel of your presentation. It becomes warmer, becomes more inviting. People are resonating with it. Give me some likes and hearts if you agree. Okay, number 7. Let's see. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and please share this if you know anyone who is trying to be a better speaker or presenter, whether that's in large groups or small groups. It's super important when you're representing your business to use these tips to get to the next level and become an expert and showcase yourself as an expert. Because we're all speakers, right? We all speak to each other sometimes. Okay. It is more important to know, hey Cara, how are you? We missed you today. It is more important to know why you are saying something than how you are saying something. It is more important to say why, it is better to know why you are saying something than how you are saying something. If you know your why, your how is going to be easy. So this one's a hard one for me to explain. I get it. And let me know if you guys understand what I'm saying, if you guys get it and have a better way of saying it. But you have to be connected to your why. What is your big idea in your presentation or your keynote? And you have to be connected to that why. And not only on a big picture, why you are saying what you're saying, right? As a global topic, but every part of your story. Why are you moving to the left side of the stage? Why did you emphasize that word? Why did you say it that way? There has to be a why behind everything that you do intentionally in your talk. It's much more effective. So when you get really caught up in the how am I going to do this? Am I going to do this, how am I going to do this technically? That's not so much important. That is not as important as knowing the why. Okay, guys? Let's see. What does Amy say? Can you use an example on the why and how? That's a good question. Let me come back to that. Yes, Jenny, the how comes from the why. You're right. Maybe Jenny has a good example. Jenny can share if she has a good example. Okay, in the meantime, let's see. We've got 3 more tips. So number 8, keep in mind that your audience, what they are looking for are actionable, tactical tips that they can do. There's been a trend over the, I guess, 10 years where you go to see these motivational speakers and it's all rah, rah. Oh, just try harder. Just be better. Just be, just do this and everything will be great. People don't want that anymore. They want like this. They want 10 top tips. They want something that's actionable, something that they feel empowered that, hey, I can do that. You want to deliver a transformation to your audience. You want to say, here's how I experienced it, and here are the 5 keys or the 5 steps that I went through to transform into a better speaker or a bigger business or a better artist or whatever it is. So keep that in mind when you're writing your script and your content. I'm just checking for questions. Hey, Bert, nice to see you. Okay, number 9. Going back to interacting with your audience while you're giving your talk, another good tip is to check in. So let's say you're doing a 90-minute talk, which, by the way, I'm doing next week for the lovely Jessica Butts, part of her team of experts at the Front Seat Life. If you're interested, I can tell you more about it. It's going to be a fabulous 3-day event. If you're giving a 90-minute presentation, you want to continue checking in with the audience. So an example is, are you guys still good? Are you guys still with me? You still with me? Because then you get the buy-in, and people, like, maybe they're not checking their phones, and they'll answer you. It's like, hey, pay attention, especially if you're about to drop a truth bomb on them. You want to prepare them, right? And obviously, you want to be fascinating and captivating for 90 minutes, but that's not always going to happen. So it's good to just check in, especially if you're about to transition into another idea. So are you good? Are you with me? Don't say, do you have any questions, unless you really want questions. Just say, are we good? Can I move on? Fabulous. So that's my next tip. Last tip is tell your story as if it is happening now. Tell it in the present. So when you're telling your story and your presentation, your keynote speech, you want to say, you don't want to say, so I got in my car and I went to my mom's house and then she did this and then we broke down and cried. You want to place the audience smack dab in the story. So I get in my car, drive to my mom's house. She opens the door. You see how I'm doing that? I'm explaining it. Hey, Julie. I'm explaining it in the present tense. It's just a very subtle shift in the way that you're presenting your content. But it's huge because you want to get the audience into the story. And then from there, when you're talking about your story in the present tense, you start to build in suspense. And you can do that with the tone of your voice. You can do it like a secret. And then I walked up to him and I went, boom! It's a play, right? It's an act. So you're acting as characters. Other ways that you could do this is you can change voices. You can do accents. So the only way to do this effectively is to really tell your stories in the present moment. Those are my 10 tips, you guys. I hope you enjoyed these. I actually have so many other tips, but I wanted to keep this concise, and I wanted to give you content that I knew that you could take today and incorporate it in your next talk. Hey, Debbie, thanks for watching, and I will answer your questions on the replay. If you guys love these videos, let me know. Give me some hearts and likes, and share it if you know any speakers that could use these tips or that you thought were interesting. Anyway, thank you. Bye.